where we can use it without having to pay copyright licenses or fees.
Exactly. Well, this is It's Christmas Day
Is
instrumental version. It just doesn't have the lyrics in it.
Yeah, I feel like I'm in a rom-com.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I should be like getting ready for the climactic moment of the rom-com. All right.
The build-up.
The build-up,
This,
yeah.
Oh, this is the brief sad moment.
All right. All right, let's tear this off, Mike.
Enough of this
Enough of this Christmas
Christmas music. It's time for a live show, Roman.
It is time for a live
Woo-hoo.
show. Today we're here with me and Mike because Nathan and Andre, who usually host the show, are actually taking the Ranger and the Tacoma, Mike. The Tacoma up Gold Mine Hill.
Not just any Ranger in any Tacoma, though.
It's the
FX
only Ranger in Colorado.
The only Ranger in Colorado. It's orange.
Yeah.
It's an FX4, and the Tacoma is a TRD off-road. So they're very comparable trucks.
So stay tuned for that video next week.
You know, most people like to flip their hair back.
Yeah.
I flip my Santa hat back.
It's very merry. Very merry
I'm
indeed.
feeling in the season, Roman.
All right, Mike. Today we're going to be asking our viewers, you guys, to ask us questions because this is a show called What Car or Truck Should I Buy?
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to hopefully answer that. But we're going to start out with a perennial. I mean, this is a perennial question that people always have. It basically is, should I keep my old vehicle or should I get the new one? And I'm going to ask you, Mike, given the choice of buying a new one or keeping the old one, what side of the coin do you come out on?
Usually, I like the new thing.
Okay.
Sometimes it's cool to keep an old car around,
Yeah.
but cars advance in technology so quickly now these days that the latest stuff is just, it's mind-blowing what brand new cars can do compared to a car from even 3 years ago.
So you're all about going into debt and
Not necessarily.
maxing out your credit
No,
card.
okay, that's why I say usually. If it's financially viable, go ahead and buy the new one. But keeping an old car will save you a lot of money,
Yeah.
first of all.
Yeah.
But it also, you can make
Oh,
old
come
cars
on.
last
These
for a
are
while.
all platitudes, Mike. Platitudes. Give me something interesting and something insightful and thoughtful, not like these platitudes.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay. Well, let's get into the question specifically,
All
shall
right. All right. Well, let's hear from you guys. See what you have to say. And thank you, Christian
Oh, yeah.
Nunez.
we? Ding.
And we're going to answer his question because he just gave us $10, so thank you. And his question is a 2013 or 2014 Raptor a good buy in 2019 compared to the newest trucks? And I know a lot about that because we just sold the 2014 Raptor. I'm going to go, that thing holds its value like crazy. Hell yeah, I love that truck. Get yourself an old first-gen Raptor. Forget about, sorry Ford, new one, because the old one's got the V8, the 6.2
Yeah, I was
liter
gonna say that-
venerable V8 that's going to last forever. It's got really great American car ride, right? The
Yep.
new one has active shocks. It's much more controlled and dampened, much more modern, but the old one just floats on down the highway.
Sure does.
If you can find a low mileage, and I'm talking like, a low mileage for a truck is probably
50 to 100,000.
yeah, 50 to 100K.
Yeah.
I'd definitely go for the 6.2. Stay away
yeah.
from the 5.4. And I'd go for blue.
I think blue is the best color for that generation and the new generation Raptor. But for the first gen, there's basically 8 good reasons why you should buy one, right?
Okay.
And they're all under the hood. Okay, so our friend Michael actually is
Yep.
his name, asking the first question. Michael says, I'm 28 years old, and I've already bought and moved on from 17 vehicles in my few short years. Your recent acquisition of the 2008 Land Cruiser...
Well, let's do the math there. So he's 28, which means he started driving it when he was 16.
So
presumably
12 years.
12 years, and he's
On the
gone through
road.
17 vehicles. So he trades a
More
vehicle.
than one a year.
More than one a year. Dude, that is
Wow.
like in my territory.
That is a
Congratulations.
lot more
yeah.
than I've gone through. Recent acquisition of the 2008 Land Cruiser, which is sitting right over there, prompted this email. I moved to Highlands Ranch, Colorado. Welcome to the state.
Yep.
From Wisconsin, and have fallen in love with the Rocky Mountains, the endless miles of trails, and your videos of Gold Mine Hill. Well, we're also in love with the Rockies. Should I do the ding really fast?
Yeah, do it.
Ding.
We'll finish this question, then we'll get to Philendwarf's question. So I
Exactly.
see that. We'll get to your question.
Michael is a sales manager at a nationwide used car dealership, and we had a 95 Jeep Grand Cherokee Limited come in that I was too old for us to sell and was going to go to auction. I couldn't resist and bought it before it went to our auction. Needless to say, I fell in love. It's bone stock with full maintenance records. So he found a clean 95 Grand Cherokee.
Great purchase, dude. I love it. I'd buy that.
Here's his dilemma.
Yeah.
A rather clean 2007 Lexus LX 470 with under 118,000 miles came in on trade, and it's calling my name. The timing belt changed about 10,000 miles ago, has some cosmetic issues, some minor rust, and it needs a few things here and there, but it's mechanically sound. The air suspension works, as does everything else. I have several other vehicles already, and either it is get rid of the Jeep I love and buy the Lexus, which is significantly more expensive, or keep the Jeep and tastefully modify it and make it a daily driver that's comfortable but can also do some solid work off the beaten path. So the question is, keep the old Jeep or get rid of it in favor of this Lexus?
Yeah, and Vac here wrote Lexus is around 20 to 25K depending on the condition.
Yeah, I looked it up on Auto Trader. This generation 07 Lexus with around the same mileage, about $20,000 is what you'd expect to pay for one of those. So that we're going to assume that's the price range he's talking about.
So two things. First of all, that 2007 Lexus, that's the last year of the 100 series Land Cruiser, which it's based on, and it had a thing called active height control.
Yes.
And I'm not a big fan of active height control because, well, Lexus does two things. They do hydraulic suspension and they do air suspension. Hydraulic suspension is a lot more.
Robust?
Yeah, robust. It'll last a lot longer, so it's a little bit better, but I just don't like any of it. It will all eventually fail, and it will all be crazy expensive to fix.
Yes.
So, you're getting into that, 10-year period where things start to fail. So I'd be afraid of that. And then the one word here that will keep me away from this is minor rust.
Minor rust can turn into major rust very quickly.
When we buy vehicles, if I see any rust at all, except for the Suzuki, which was so cheap.
And the Beetle. The Beetle has a little rust.
A little bit of rust,
but anyways, it doesn't matter.
I run far and run fast for minor rust, because minor rust, look, you can fix things mechanically relatively inexpensively, or you can do it yourself, but when body shop gets involved, it gets expensive
rust
really
gets
quick.
Expensive.
Yeah, so I don't like rust, and I would keep away from it. It's also the last year of the 100. If you're going to be there, it's got the 4.7, which is a small V8. Go for the next generation. Wait for the next
model year.
Yeah, and then like we did, you're going to spend more, but you're going to get a lot more.
Right.
So that's my advice. Would you agree?
You say buy the next model year, but
I would say keep away from this one.
Yeah, I say keep the Jeep here. I mean, the Jeep is going to be a very off-road capable vehicle. I'm presuming you already paid it off, or at least you already own it, right?
Yeah.
That Lexus is cool. It'll be off-road capable, but I'm with you. The suspension scares me, and I think that money would be much better spent upgrading that Jeep, which will treat you really well here in Colorado.
Yeah, and we've had this argument before, but like Hoovie on his channel, Hoovie's Garage bought the Lexus, and he called it a Lexus Land Cruiser. I'm going to call BS on that. Sorry, it's either a Toyota Land Cruiser or it's a Lexus LX. They're built in the same factory. As they get younger, the newer ones, they become more divergent in terms of, the older ones are very similar. But the 200 series Land Cruiser and the current Lexus, they're different vehicles. And let's face it, dude, even if the bones are the same, who drives like Lexi? Like guys my age.
Yeah,
you want to be driving something that guys my age, or worse yet, like women my age, right? Which is fine. Women my age are fine, but they're driving it to Nordstrom's.
Sure, yeah.
And the most off-roading it sees is like a curb at Nordstrom's.
Maybe that makes it a more compelling purchase, Roman. Because, let's lay this out here. We're going to have a little know you're wrong argument.
All right.
We had this argument in the office a few days ago. And let's see what you guys think. You're paying less money for the Lexus, generally speaking, over the Land Cruiser, right? And underneath, pretty much the same vehicle.
Sure.
Right?
Same engine, same powertrain.
Plus, by that argument you just made about the soccer moms driving into Nordstrom's, right? The Lexus will have been driven a lot easier in its lifetime than the Land Cruiser presumably has been. So really the question is it worth paying the extra however much money, sometimes up to, $5,000 more, maybe even more than that, for the Land Cruiser badge and the Land Cruiser name, or is it worth just buying the Lexus itself? And I think it's fine to save the money and buy the Lexus, have just as much fun, and use that $5,000 for off-road parts.
I disagree, because I think Land Cruiser is cool and LX is not cool.
It's a Lexus.
And, people spend a lot of money for cool, dude.
Yeah, that's true.
Right?
That's true.
People spend, most people going down the road won't tell the difference between one or the other. But the guys that you meet in Moab will certainly know. And I have a friend, actually, a good friend, Calvin, who's got the Lexus version, and he loves it. He's got that 100, the same kind of with the active height control, and he loves it because it allows him to, on an incline, straighten up the truck so that he can get in his rooftop tent and sleep flat.
Yeah.
And I respect Calvin. He's a car guy through and through. But I'm always going to say, if you're going to get the vehicle, get the original, not the copy. And the Lexus will always be the copy because the Land Cruiser came along first.
Yeah.
Right?
That's
true. And
true.
around the world, people don't know the Lexus. They know the Land Cruiser.
That's true. And you put your money where your mouth is and actually just bought the Land Cruiser anyways, right? You didn't buy the Lexus, which is something that I argued you should have contemplated.
I was watching this really horrible but yet fascinating, it's like a train wreck, video series on Amazon. It's called Wreck Trek.
Wreck Trek.
Yeah, look for it. It's a bunch of these like guys and girls who get into like 3 of the crappiest cars they could find. There's a Suzuki, a Golf, and some Bruno, and they drive from Berlin, and they're trying to get all the way down to South Africa, and then they finally end up in Africa, and this family is really nice to them. And what vehicle do they have?
A Land Cruiser.
Of course.
It's a Land Cruiser.
Anyway, yeah, check it out, Wreck Trek. There's also a Trabant Trek.
Oh, my.
Which we haven't watched yet. It's the second part of that series. It's kind of like Big Brother meets an epic
like a
road
Top
trip.
Gear road trip?
No,
Sure.
nothing to do. No, this is all about like Big Brother stuff. Like people who get on each other's nerves on purpose, right?
I see.
And get kicked off the track on purpose.
Okay, gotcha.
So anyway, let's answer Dallin's question, and let's thank who. Yep.
C.
Loker. Yeah,
also sent us $10. Thank you very much.
So Dallin says, Merry Christmas, guys. Curious what your opinion is on purchasing a 2013 all-wheel drive Charger RT for a daily drive, or need to get away from my 3/4 gas ton truck. So I just saw the RT all-wheel drive Charger. Actually, it was a Challenger, at the dealership.
Yeah.
And I thought it was way cool. It's lifted a little bit, so it's a little bit taller.
Yeah.
They didn't sell a lot of them. They weren't super popular, so you should be able to get one at a really good price.
Yeah.
2013 is a cool year for them.
It is. They look cool.
I would say, hell yeah. I think it's badass.
And we had a guy come in maybe a year ago, almost, that had supercharged his all-wheel drive.
Yeah, that can't be good for the transmission or the powertrain.
The point is, it's pretty easy to get a lot of extra power out of those if that's what you're going for. But yeah, heck yeah, I think it's a cool purchase.
Yeah.
I think that's a great alternative.
Yeah, I love that vehicle, and I'm a big fan of Chargers and Challengers. That's it's a fine chassis. It's a cool-looking vehicle. It's all-wheel drive. It's a badass ride. You're going to be one of the few people on your block to have one. Let's engage some of our viewers, Mike. Any good questions that we want to ask?
Well, actually, there was a question that came up right at the beginning of the chat from a guy called Doc22.
Hey, Doc.
And Doc says, hey, guys, I was thinking about trading in my 2015 Chrysler 200, which I would recommend you do anyways. I've been looking for a truck. I'm going to be using it for a work truck / hauling the kids around. Which one would you guys recommend? And I asked him in the comments, I said, what's your budget like? And he said around $30,000.
So we get tons of truck questions every day. And basically we have the show, that Andre and Mr. Truck do to answer these questions.
Yep.
And the problem there is there's just not enough information there for me to even begin to answer that, right? So I need to know how much you intend to haul, how much you intend to tow. Are you going to take it off-roading? Do you plan on using it as a family vehicle or as a work vehicle? Is there a brand that you specifically like? And none of that I know, so I can't begin to answer it. It would be like asking me, what's your favorite hamburger, right? and without more information,
it's hard.
What part of the country are you in? Is it in and out? So I need a lot more information to make even an educated guess at that. So I say, if you want to throw some more information my way, do so. Otherwise, you're going to have to wait for that one.
So further down in the chat, Ryan Martinich said, drop to 200 for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Given the state of the 9-speed transmission in those cars, it's probably a good idea. If you're not doing heavy hauling, there's a lot to like about the base V6 Ram 1500 Tradesman with the e-torque. It's not a bad choice.
Not a bad choice. I'm a big proponent of something even as simple as a less expensive Colorado new. I mean, you can get a Colorado for around $30,000, probably with your trade-in on the 200 too. You can get a little bit off of that, but it won't be super loaded, but you can get 4x4, and you can get a crew cab for around $30,000.
Dog 22 also mentioned down further in the chat, budget's around $30,000-ish. Also looking at some mid-sized trucks. So Colorado.
I think the Colorado's a really good choice. We have this Ranger in the office right now, and those go on sale in January. Correct?
It's a great time to be truck shopping right now.
It's an awesome
especially
time.
Right now, man.
Yeah.
Mr. Truck just bought his 3.5.
Yeah, how much did he pay for that?
$32,000, $53,000 truck. It was hail damage though.
It was.
But at the end of the year, they're great deals. So if you've got the money and the time, get yourself one now. Next year, it's going to get expensive until a little bit later in the year. Now, Elisa May Marie, thank you. By the way, you're a big viewer of ours, so we really appreciate that. Has a question. She says, I have an 03 Subaru Impreza. Spent its whole life in upstate New York. It has under 110,000 miles. Should I worry about it dying soon? Well, let me ask you this, Lisa. Have you taken care of it? Do you know the history of it? Has the oil been changed? Has it been kept in the garage? Has it had its routine maintenance? Has it been in a car accident? All
good questions.
Do you wash it so when you get all that crappy salt on it, you take it off? So yeah, a Subaru Impreza with 110,000 miles in general will probably go at least another 40,000 miles before you need serious issues with it. I'm not sure if that had the 2.5 with the head gasket issues. Some of the early Subarus had that.
I want to say 03 was that.
That may be the one. Yeah, that may be the one. So there might be a head gasket issue. You should certainly Google it. And if that's the case, I'd probably dump it before the head gasket goes because it's getting to the point now where it's worth less than the repair to fix the head gasket. So just maybe Google it, and if it's in that generation of Subarus with head gasket issues, and if it hasn't been replaced, it might be time to move on, because if it goes, you're basically going to be looking at a liability.
I agree. I wouldn't worry about it too much yet, but it's one of those things.
Did I scare you? Sorry.
You gotta feel it out though, right? I mean, if your car sounds like it's running rough, or
it's not worth a heck of a lot of money, unfortunately, right?
No.
I mean, we're talking about thousands here.
Couple thousand maybe.
Yeah. So what you're looking at is it worth trading it in right now so that you have the peace of mind? I like to say this, right? The first time a car leaves you stranded, you fix it.
Yep.
The second time it leaves you stranded, you buy a Toyota.
Wise words to live by.
It's true.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Okay, should we move on to our next prepared question here?
Yeah.
Okay, so the next question comes from our friend Carson, who has a 2005 Toyota 4Runner, but it belongs to his dad. Technically speaking, it's his car, and his dad won't let him do any mods to it since it belongs to his dad. So Carson decided that he wants to purchase an old Jeep YJ and put it under his name so he can do whatever he wants to it, right? But he's on a $200 a month budget, and he's currently only saved up around $800. So the question is, what's the best way to go about purchasing a Jeep like that? He's looked at Copart and found a few cheap ones, but the more he searched, did some research online, he found out that you have to have a broker and all this stuff. So is Copart reliable, or should he save up more money and stick to something like AutoTrader or Craigslist?
Yeah, so decent YJ is going to probably cost you around $3,000 to $5,000.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe if it's really nice, maybe a little bit more depending on low miles. If you have $800 to spend on a YJ, I would probably save up enough money to actually go and buy the thing, because look, you're looking at those old Jeeps weren't unreliable, but they're not the most reliable things. And so if you're going to go get yourself into debt, and then the very first thing that you have to do is replace a rear main seal, which is probably most likely what's going to happen, or a catalytic converter, which is also going to be very expensive, then all of a sudden that $5,000 budget becomes an $8,000 budget. And if you can barely afford it, you're going to be pretty miserable. And so, I get it. I was that age. I'd love to have that vehicle, but you need to save up some more money before you go and buy a classic Jeep like that. They're not money pits, but they do require maintenance, and common problems with them. Once again, our cats get taken out because they're expensive to replace. They all have rear main seal. They all leak, bar none. If you have the automatic transmission, then you have to worry about replacing a clutch. If you have the manual transmission, it's got issues. The best thing about those is if you can get the 4-liter straight 6. Those engines are bulletproof.
Great engine.
Great engine. Small issues, but nevertheless, that's the best part of it. So, dude, $800, probably save up and go buy it on Craigslist. And if you do go buy it on Craigslist, we buy a lot of cars. There's some things that I always look for. Mm-hmm. So the first thing is if you can find one from the original owner.
That's great.
That's great. That's like a big flashing neon light. Buy me, buy me, buy me.
Yep.
If the owner's not crazy, some of them are.
So, that one you have to kind of feel out when you're.
You have to. You want to go to KBB or someplace and find out what the going value is in your part of the country.
Right.
And if the owner is so proud and so in love with their vehicle that they're asking
$10,000 over the value, then forget about it.
I love original one owner vehicles. I love when they have all their receipts. Mm-hmm. So that's another big one I look for. Perhaps more importantly, if you're on Craigslist, the things that you do want to avoid immediately, no pictures. Forget it. Don't
Just
even
don't
look
worry
at it.
about
Don't
it.
even worry about it.
Promise
No
you.
mileage. I promise you, it's going to have
A high mileage.
A lot.
No mileage means high mileage.
Salvage title, run far and run fast.
That's an insurance nightmare.
Because people won't buy it from you, so forget about you'll see a cheap car. If it's too good to be true, it probably is. So there a lot of scams on Craigslist. So if you think it's too good to be true, if the pictures are taken, it looks like through a pair of binoculars, right? Right?
Or they're all the same angle or
Yeah.
the same side of the car. Look
Yeah,
out for that.
you forget about that. If there's no interior, I bet you the interior will look
It's
like
not
like,
great.
like 14 cats had a cat party in there and left without cleaning up.
Yeah.
So these are just common sense things that I look for when I go on Craigslist. Craigslist is dangerous, not because you're going to get hurt, just because there's so many people that are. It's like the Wild West, right? There's no
You
rules.
don't really know what you're going to get until you see it, until you drive it, and I always recommend getting a pre-purchase inspection too, if you can.
Yeah, everybody recommends it, but nobody does it.
Nobody does it, which is
How do you do that? You go up to the guy.
You go to
Would you have the
you
balls
tell
to
the
do
person
that?
you're buying it for. Yeah, I did
Wait, you did that?
on my Volvo.
Really? You went to him and you said, "Hey, do you mind if I take
Yeah.
this thing and take it to my mechanic?"
Yeah, it's a really worthwhile thing. I knew I wasn't going to get screwed.
And then what did the person say? He said yes?
Yeah, they said yes. Usually, if they don't say yes, then you're kind of screwed there too. But
They can say, I've got 15 other people waiting,
Yeah, they
and they
can
don't
say
want to
that.
take it for a pre-inspection, so
Fortunately,
hit the
there
road, Jack.
there wasn't 50 people waiting on a 1984 Volvo, as it turned out. So,
So-
I think I got lucky.
So what
there.
happened?
Well, it got a relatively clean. We were told there were a few things that would need to be
Every
done.
old car has few things.
Yeah, so but at least there's nothing catastrophic about to happen. And I've driven another 20,000 miles since I bought it without any huge failures.
So Maria's asking, where's Tommy? He just had his wisdom teeth out, so
Yeah.
he's a little bit...
He's drinking milkshakes and enjoying some rest.
He's under the weather, but he's finishing up, his last semester of college, so he'll be here full time come summer.
Yep.
Let's see. Smith Jones says we're going to put a snorkel on the Suzuki. That's up to Nathan. He's already agreed to. He wants to buy that, so I don't want to do anything to it that he doesn't
we'll
want.
let Nathan mod it as he pleases once he owns it. We have to finish answering this question really fast.
By the way, Elisa says yes. Routine maintenance. I wash it once a month. Already had the head gasket replaced. Keep it then.
Yeah, I'd say keep it.
Yeah.
It'll be if you have the head gasket replaced, then keep it for a little while.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
Okay, keep
no
going.
worries there. Okay, so for Carson,
Yeah.
the recommendation is save up a little bit and wait. But if you don't want to wait as long, you could also go out and buy a Cherokee XJ, right? Those are, you get the straight six.
Yeah.
You get some pretty good
You
out of
can
the
get,
box.
you can get nice ones for right around $3,000.
Yeah, you get some pretty nice out of
And
the
you've got
box
room for your
off-road
friends.
ability. You got room for your friends.
And you can go off road.
And you can go off road.
And it's got a better drivetrain in general.
I'd say a more comfortable or more livable interior too. I mean, it's not as expensive as a Wrangler because it's not as sought after as a Wrangler, but
Yep.
it would offer you, a pretty good package for a little bit less money.
All right, Mike. Here's one for you.
Okay.
Nova Man wants to know what's the cheapest and most reliable high mileage mid-size truck. Looking to spend under $14,000. Come on, Mike. See the truck.
Well, it's not going to be cheap, but a Tacoma would probably be the most reliable one.
Tacoma probably has the most reliability. It's also going to be the most expensive. So
It will also be the most expensive.
So the question is, what's the most reliable, cheapest?
I'm tempted to say something like, a late.
Frontier.
I was going to say a Ranger.
Frontier.
From like 11 or 12.
Those are much cheaper than 14. You can get a Ranger for like $5,000 all day long.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
3 to
and
5K. So for 14, go for a Frontier.
Sure.
If
you could buy a brand new Frontier
Not
with
for
no
14.
options for almost 14.
Yeah,
You're
we had the cheapest one.
We did.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
like 18. Yeah.
You're close. So
But
maybe a year
you
too
can get
old.
you can get a Pro 4X for 14. That's a couple of years old.
Yeah, a Frontier's a good option. I still actually think the Ranger's not a bad
It's
choice.
thirsty.
Yeah.
The Ranger is just an old truck. I mean, it's 5K. You got 14.
Yeah, if you have $14,000, yeah, Frontier.
The one I would avoid is probably like the. God, what would I avoid?
like a Dakota. Would you
Yeah,
avoid
I'm thinking
Dakota?
I'd avoid the Dakota. I'd avoid any of the old Colorados with the 5-cylinder.
Mm.
Those weren't the best of engines.
Yeah.
If you do want to go something cool, there's the Hummer, but
Yeah.
that's got the 5-cylinder, but it's more expensive than 14. But it's way cool.
Yeah, I think the Frontier was probably the best option, or a Tacoma, which would be expensive. You'd have to find a much older, much higher mileage Tacoma, but it would still probably be reliable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People are saying that the XJ is way more wanted than the Wrangler. I disagree. I've been watching the prices on at least here in
I think
Colorado.
the price tags disagree.
Yeah,
with
you
that
know,
statement.
so there's this dual level thing. Look, first of all, they built 3 million Cherokees, XJs. That's a lot. From like 1990 to 2010 or something,
Sure.
2011, right? They built them for like 20
of
years. So there's a ton of them. The really nice ones are expensive, like the one Tommy had.
Yeah.
Right, that one that was pristine and everything worked on it.
That's a
91,000.
masterclass on how to buy a car on
Yeah,
Craigslist.
that was, but you can get XJs all day long. The Wranglers, especially the YJs, you know, they ride rough.
Yeah.
So it's basically a good off-road vehicle, but it's not a great daily commuter, and so that's why the prices are low. But the Wrangler name has a lot of cachet.
The Wrangler name has cachet, and the Wrangler would be a little bit better off-road.
Yeah,
in
they're
style.
both pretty good.
They're close, but
Yeah, I mean, you can make a Cherokee really off-road worthy with like a 4-inch lift. Hey, Ryan, thank you.
Woo.
Yeah,
Ding.
he's looking for a Swiss Army knife, 4x4 capable highway ride and room. I was just looking at this. I don't know what your budget is. What's your budget, dude? I
Yeah,
don't know what
budget
your
is really
I don't know.
important.
You're looking for a
That's
Swiss
like
Army knife of a 4x4.
4x4
The one I think I would buy right now, and I bet you're looking around for these.
Yeah.
Is like the early '90s Forerunners.
Mm.
Those things are really great off-roaders.
Yeah.
They're cool. Some of them have a locking rear diff. They all have a locking center diff.
Yep.
It's got Toyota's reliability. And they're not starting to come up yet. So if you can find a clean like '90s, is it early '90s or is it the later one?
No, it's early 90s.
Yeah, early '90s Forerunners. Yeah. Yeah, those are from like '90 to like '97 or so. Those are really great vehicles, and they're going to come up. And
eventually they will.
They will come
They
up.
will
Yeah,
come
if
up.
you can find a clean one, I'd say go for it.
Oh, he says $35,000 to $40,000.
Oh, so you want?
That's new. That's new territory.
Yeah, I mean, so you know, every one of those trucks is going to have some issues. So let's talk about the 4Runner, right?
Yeah, I
Let's
think
talk
the
about-
4Runner is a good option.
It is a good option, but that 6-cylinder is a little thirsty,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? The
Yeah.
4
A little.
a little.
Pretty-
It's all right.
A lot thirsty. It's a lot thirsty.
It's a lot thirsty. You know as much as I love Jeeps, you know, I would say, actually I wouldn't say. I'd say for 30 to 35, you can get a really good Wrangler.
You could get a great JK.
You could get a great JL actually.
Yeah,
you can get
yeah.
a great JL Unlimited. You know, the 4-door.
Yep.
That would certainly be on my driving list.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm tempted to say if you can wait a little bit because we know the Bronco's coming soon.
yeah, no, it's not coming that
Well,
soon.
it's coming in the
No,
relatively
you're
near
gonna have
future.
to wait like
It's at least 2 years.
At least 2 years, Mike. That's not a
Yeah.
little bit. That's a long time.
It's a ways.
Yeah, it's a way.
I
So
guess.
let's see. We got.
Sadly.
This 4Runner,
I would
Wrangler-
avoid the Pathfinder. The latest one is
Yeah,
too
it's not
soft.
a-
So forget about Pathfinder. Let's talk about Ford. Ford has a new Bronco coming.
Yeah,
But that's more.
that's a ways off.
No, it's coming quick. We're gonna go on. It's gonna be unveiled in 2 weeks on the 9th. So figure it'll be
You
available.
mean the new Explorer?
The Explorer, sorry, the
Gotcha.
Explorer.
Yeah.
Yeah, the new Explorer, not the Bronco. The new Explorer is going to be.
I was like,
so
what?
Explorer, January 9th. So,
Yeah, new Explorer coming.
so new Explorer,
but that's more of like a crossover.
yeah, it's more of a family vehicle.
In terms of like real 4x4s,
He's talking about the Swiss Army knife.
the Swiss aren't so like the do everything.
Yeah.
I think the 4Runner is probably my choice.
4Runner.
For do everything, because I think the 4Runner is a little bit more comfortable on the road. Than,
Chevy, the
the
new Blazer is
That's not a.
it's an
that's another
off-roader in
crossover
name
too.
only. Yeah.
Trucks too. I mean, you could go for a Ranger.
He's
You can
looking
get
for
it.
He's crossover. He said.
Did he?
Yeah, he said
No, he
crossover.
just said 4x4.
Yeah.
Yeah. 4x4 capable highway ride and room to haul samples. So that if you wanted the samples of whatever they are to be covered, then yeah, you'd need something with like a trunk. But
All right. Anyway, I'm sure people have better suggestions than we do.
Dorels,
Yep.
2019 Jeep Renegade Trailhawk news. Looking at moving from my 2008 Commander, which has been awesome, 160,000, trouble 3 miles. Do we know about the Renegade Trailhawk?
Yeah, it's been slightly updated. So they did a mild refresh for this year.
Yep.
So it's a little bit more modern. It's a good little Jeep actually.
Yeah,
It
didn't
also
see
has
them
a
just
new engine.
It's got a new engine. That's right. They put a new
So
power plant.
1.3 liter turbo.
Yeah, they put the 1.3. Thank you, Zach. The
This-
1.3 liter
this is
turbo instead of
small
the 2.4 liter multi-air.
Yeah.
So it's got, and actually I like that vehicle.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of cute. It's kind of gutsy. It's got a lot of like character. And
It's
I
really
love-
stylish in its own kind of, maybe
Yeah.
not conventionally stylish, but it's, character is the perfect way to put it.
It's small.
Did Steven get the chance to drive
She's
one?
going for this person's going for whoever it was. Hold on.
Dorels or Ryan?
Yeah, they're going from a Commander, which
It's
is
a bit of a downside.
which is a much bigger vehicle.
That's-
So you know,
The Renegade is small. It's a compact.
yeah, I would say
Crossover.
this: go for the Renegade or skip the Canyon.
Yeah.
Canyon. Skip the Canyon and go for the Cherokee.
You mean Compass?
Yeah, sorry, Compass. Skip the Compass. I am not having a good day today.
That's okay.
Yeah, so it goes Renegade, Compass, Cherokee.
Right, Grand Cherokee.
Grand Cherokee, yeah. So I would skip the Compass and not in love with it, world of car. But the Cherokee's not bad either, and the Cherokees are being discounted, and they're actually not. So maybe look at that if you want a little bit more room. And
Yeah.
the good thing about the Cherokee, Michael, is it's got a honest to goodness, real low.
It does.
Transfer case.
It does.
Yeah.
It
The
does.
Low range. It's got
That
a real
is
low range.
It's a really good vehicle, actually.
Yeah, I think it's the only vehicle in that kind of segment, which is basically a compact crossover that has an honest to goodness low range
transfer case,
yeah.
yeah.
And the Renegade doesn't have it. It's got this. It's kind of cool, or not. It's got this button right that says like off road or something. I don't know. And all it does is it locks it into first gear.
So it's like
It like
trying.
pretends to be
Yeah, it's
low
trying.
range. Yeah.
So Steven was just in. Our friend
He
Steven.
didn't drive. He was just there. And by the way, yeah. So
What was he driving?
He drove the Compass, he drove the Cherokee, and he drove the Grand Cherokee. And those reviews, the 2019s, are actually on TFL Off Road.
Mm-hmm.
So we just published the Compass, and we're going to publish the Cherokee a little bit later in the week.
So you can go and check out that video when it
but
publishes.
they didn't have the Renegade, the new one. It wasn't available yet.
Not the Renegade, but the Cherokee.
Yeah.
If you want to see how that
Yeah.
the low range transfer case works, because
Yeah.
I'm sure being in Moab, he was using that quite a bit.
Yeah.
Okay, what else do we got? Some more questions
I have a
here.
few.
Yeah, go ahead.
for it.
So it's interesting. I've actually been following Austin Gresham in the chat.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
He has a 2005 Mercury Mountaineer
Ooh,
with
that
the
is a rare vehicle.
with the
Wow.
4.6 liter single overhead cam modular V8.
Ooh.
First question was just to folks in the chat if they have any issues with those engines. I can speak a little bit about that because
Yeah.
I've had a couple of cars with that engine actually, and as far as the engine's concerned, they're really not bad. They're a bit crude, 2 valves per cylinder. They don't get great fuel economy, but you can beat up on them, and they're not going to break. He was saying later on, this is what I found interesting, all kinds of electrical issues, overhead console hanging down, stuff like that. So he was asking if he should trade it in for a 4-door truck. That's the issue with those Explorers and Mountaineers of that kind of era. The powertrains,
All right.
relatively
All right,
fine,
guys.
but
I'm going to ask you a question, and I'd love your answer in the chat below. I'm going to ask you as well. I'm going to ask you, Zach, okay?
Uh-huh.
yes.
If you could only have one vehicle,
jeez.
one vehicle that you would drive for the rest of your life, and it could be new or it could be classic, what vehicle would it be? This is the one that you're going to buy and you're going to live with until eternity. So,
It's the one that's sitting right outside.
which is,
My 2015 Volkswagen Golf GTI.
and when the zombie apocalypse comes.
I will go to a racetrack.
What are you gonna do, Michael? What are you gonna do? And what happens when you find Mrs. Michael and she has
Mrs. Michael.
and she has interest in like not one, not two, but maybe 3 young Michaels running around? How are they gonna fit in there?
Then she will not be Mrs. Michael because 2 is the max.
All eternity, dude.
No.
Really? Is that it? You pick the car you're driving? Really? Out of all the
I
cars,
think
you pick
so.
a GTI?
What, I can
Doesn't
carry.
go off road. It's
Yeah, whatever.
it's front wheel drive.
We
it's
have
a great
plenty.
vehicle.
There's plenty of roads.
Dude, it's a great vehicle for
Yeah, it's
a man of
perfect.
your age,
Yeah.
but for the rest of your life.
It's either that or like one of those or a Land Cruiser.
Okay, all right. How about you, Zach?
That one is so tough.
That's a really hard question.
It
It
is
is
a
a
really
hard
hard
question. Yeah.
For right now, I don't need anything more than that GTI.
If we're talking like if a zombie apocalypse
Yeah.
is imminent,
Yeah.
and I need one
yeah.
vehicle that I'm gonna be able to stay alive
Yep.
with, I would actually probably catch some crap for this, but I'll get the last generation Ford Bronco
Oh,
because it has
The big Bronco.
it's yeah
Okay.
the big full
The
size
big Bronco,
Bronco.
not the Bronco
It's got-
2.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the big
Okay.
Bronco.
It's got
The O.J. Simpson Bronco.
Yeah.
OJ Bronco.
Yeah.
it has a
Would it be
5-liter Windsor V8. So
Yeah.
it's got some power.
Yeah.
It's modern enough. It's got power windows,
That's a good
power
choice.
locks, things
That's not
like
bad.
that. It can go
Yeah.
off road.
Sure.
It's rugged, so you can repair it.
So let's
Really
see
easy.
what some people are saying. John Castle says Jeep Gladiator Eco Diesel for me, except it's not alive yet, so we don't even know if that's a possibility. Joe Whiskey Beal says 1980 Jeep Cherokee 2-door 4x4, good choice. Ryan says a Land Cruiser 200 series diesel, of course, because they run forever.
Yes.
Yeah, we've got some really great great answers here.
Jeep Wagoneer, says Rodney Noble.
Yeah,
Bad Don says a 2019 Highlander Limited.
yeah, people are picking Highlanders. You know, I was thinking about that as much as I think that Land Cruiser that you guys can't see that's in
Yeah,
front of
it's
us
right there.
is a great vehicle. It'd have to be a truck for me.
It would have to be a truck.
It'd have to be a truck.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
It'd have to be a truck.
Not the Land Rover, not the Discovery.
That would be very low on my list
Because it would break
It would break after
after
about
100,000 miles.
Yeah, yeah.
It'd
It's
probably
very-
break after like 70,000
Yeah,
miles.
it would it would need constant like head gaskets.
A Raptor's a really good choice, actually.
Yeah, I thought about the Raptor too.
Or a Power Wagon.
I
Also.
think mine might be the previous gen Raptor.
Yeah, with
Yeah.
the 6.2.
The 6.2 because
That
it's
was a really
relatively
good truck.
It's relatively bulletproof.
That was
and
a fun truck.
It's a truck. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I would absolutely. I mean, an F-150 of some FX4 variant, but maybe with the Coyote and not the.
The other one, I'd love like that one we sold to Steve, the '85.
Yeah, K10, big green.
That's a really great one,
That's a good
especially
truck.
with the engine swap.
Yep.
Yep. A Ram. Another one that I would love would be a Power Wagon, dude.
That would be sweet.
That's
Power,
another one.
a lot of people have actually said Power
Yeah,
Wagon,
yeah.
which
So-
is a great choice.
So thank you guys. We appreciate your input on that. That's always a fun question to,
Yeah, it is fun.
to kind of throw out there. So we really appreciate what you have to say. So Mike, let's talk about our Land Cruiser now that we're on top of it.
Heck
right?
yeah.
I've been talking to the guys at Slee Off Road.
Great off-road
And-
shop.
Yeah, and we want to get your input. So we're thinking about turning it into the ultimate overlander, not a rock crawler,
No,
an overlander.
there's a distinct difference.
Yeah, and so here are the options for what we can do to it. We can do it a lift,
Yep.
and that could be anywhere from like 2 to 4 inches.
Sure.
We could do different tires
Yep.
and our wheels.
Yep.
We could do a front bumper.
Mm-hmm.
We could do a rear bumper, metal of course.
Right.
We could do
Steel.
a roof rack.
Yep.
We could do a rooftop tent.
Yeah.
We could do onboard air.
Yeah.
We could do ABR lockers.
This is a long list of things.
This is a lot. We could do rock sliders.
Yeah.
And what do you guys suggest that we do? I really want to know because a lot of it has to do with budget, but
Yeah.
also a lot of it has to do with this is a vehicle that doesn't need to go crawling up Hell's Revenge in Moab. This is
No.
a vehicle that has to be comfortable, and all those things that I just talked about take away from comfort and add to weight.
That's true.
Right? The way that it sits right now, it's always going to be the
Very-
most
it's
comfortable
very
and the most
comfortable.
fuel efficient.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'd love to get your input, and hopefully we can build this out, and then go on down to the Overland Expo. So I'm talking to people down there and have a meet and greet with you guys if
That'd be
you're
sweet.
down there,
That'd be really sweet.
and do some off-roading in Moab on the way. So that's the plan.
I think on my wish list for the Land Cruiser,
Yeah.
there's a couple things. I think better roof rack
Yeah,
is really cool. It like aesthetically it looks great. Plus it's functional. You can throw stuff up there like a tent if you
Yeah.
want. And I also think wheels and tires. Maybe not wheels, but tires for sure.
for sure. Yeah.
Because the ones that we have on there right now they're very street biased.
Extra fuel tank, Patrick says that's a really good idea.
Fuel tank is
Yeah.
a really good idea.
Yeah,
Uh,
like that idea.
bumpers, I'm not so sure we need.
Yeah.
Bumpers could look cool and they would help if
Yeah.
we got into some serious stuff, but
Well, if you want a winch, you're gonna need a bumper.
that's true. Yeah, bumper. So at the very least, a front bumper.
So, guys, here's another question I'd love your help with. And I'm going to hit you guys. You guys haven't heard this. I've been watching this series called, like I said, called the Wreck Trek. W-R-E-C-K, Trek,
Yeah.
T-R-E-K, right? And they took these really, crappy cars and just drove the bones out of them down to, well, they didn't get all the way to South Africa.
They got part of the way down
yeah.
there.
Kinshasa.
Yeah.
And I had this idea, and the problem is, I don't want to make it look like Top Gear or Grand Tour, and everything we try to do that is like that ends up looking like the stuff that they do, right? Because
Yeah.
they, kind of set the bar in terms of what automotive television should look like. But I had this, I was cruising on Craigslist, and I found this Range Rover Classic. Do you know what that is?
I do.
Yeah, I found
Yeah,
a
heck
Range. I found a Range Rover Classic for $1,800.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
No. These things are like a clean Range Rover Classic, dude, is like 10 to 15.
You can get them cheap still.
No,
Some
not $1,800 cheap.
That's
No.
really cheap.
Yeah, that's really cheap. So I was looking, I was like, wow, that's really cheap, and it had a really cool like front rack on it, a bumper. It had a winch on it. I'm like, dang.
Did it not have an engine? What happened? What's
No,
going on?
and I read it. And it said runs.
Uh-huh.
Everything works.
What's the catch?
So I start clicking through the pictures, and I get to the one that shows the back end, and guess what it was?
I don't know.
It was a Range Rover Classic convertible. You know they don't make those. So somebody had taken the back end of it, right, and basically sawzawed the back.
Okay.
So it kind of looked like an old Blazer, right? Remember how those Blazers were like that, right?
Yeah.
So the front actually had the sunroof, and then the back was all open. So if you sat in the
So
back
it's
seat,
like a bimini top in the back.
yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
Okay.
So I thought, it's pretty damn cool,
That's
right?
kind of cool.
Yeah, and then I thought to myself, what could we do to actually drive that somewhere and see, how it competes? One of my favorite episodes of Top Gear is the one where they go down to the jungle and they drive the,
They try to find the source of the Nile. That one?
No, I hate that one. No. They go to the jungle
with the
in
Land
South
Cruiser
Africa.
and the.
No, with the Range Rover, the Suzuki.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then go to the highest point in South Africa. Anyway, so I thought, what could we do with like that? And then I had this idea that maybe me in the Range Rover convertible,
logically, yes.
Nathan in the Suzuki.
Great.
Right. So now you got British and you got Japanese.
Uh-huh.
And then we buy, and the budget is only $2,000. A Jeep of some kind. So maybe a Cherokee, like we were talking about, or a Grand Cherokee.
Yeah.
Right?
Doable.
And then we all get in here and we drive to Moab in these vehicles, see if we can get there because we have to go over 2 mountain passes in the winter, which would be interesting.
And
then we run Hell's Revenge and see who can make it
the furthest.
Yeah.
Whoever makes it the furthest wins.
Yeah, or something like that, or whoever makes it back to Boulder wins. So you gotta
back to Boulder.
Yeah, you gotta. It's like a race, right?
Yeah.
You leave here, you gotta run all the way to Moab.
Yeah.
You gotta run Hell's Revenge.
Observing speed limits.
Of course, observing speed limits, and then you have to turn around and come back to Boulder and see who can do it the fastest.
That would be really fun.
What do you guys think?
That'd be really,
you like
really
that
fun.
idea for a video series? It's actually relatively affordable because we've got the Suzuki already.
And we could easily get the Range Rover.
Yeah, and keep in mind that if the video is successful, guys, everything we do, one of the things we do here is we bootstrap everything, so we have no investors.
We're paying for everything that we buy here.
Yeah, we shoot, we eat, right?
Right.
And so you're looking at $2,500 for the Suzuki, which you've already paid.
Yep.
$1,500 or $1,800 for that, so now you're at $4,000.
$4,000-ish.
Plus $2,000, so like a $6,000
episode.
And then of course all the production costs, the hotels, the crew. I mean, it's not just. It's not. I wish it was just us and a GoPro.
But we have to pay people.
Yeah.
We have to pay other people to do things.
And then people that aren't here have to put up stuff. So it's So the question is, should we do it? It probably won't make It's probably going to cost a company like $10K to do that, which is cheap for
considering what we'd get out of it. Yeah.
And it won't get that many views. But you like the idea?
But do you guys want to see it? Yeah.
You want to see it? Yeah.
Well, tell us. I think that'd be really fun.
Yeah.
Of course. But yeah, let's see what you guys think. Drop a comment down below. Send it in the chat. Tell us what you want to see.
Yeah, and I think we're running out of time, dude.
Yeah, I think it's about time to head home.
Yeah, and get ready for
the holidays.
Christmas. Yeah. So guys, I just want to thank you for sticking with us this entire year.
Heck yeah.
We've got really exciting videos coming up on TFL Car Now and Off Road. Yep. So I'll give you what's coming up this weekend. On car, Mike and I did a video, the winners and losers, the best sellers and the worst selling cars of the year. So I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
One of my favorite videos, which is going to come up tomorrow on TFL Truck, is actually we try this reality show thing where we do a confessional where we talk into the camera.
Yeah.
And we took the new Ram that we had and we took it up the Ike with Andre and compared it to the Raptor.
Big
so
comparison.
Tomorrow on TFL Truck, it's Ike Raptor versus Rebel,
yeah.
Which is the best towing truck you can buy. Reality show style. We're trying something different.
Yeah.
And then off-road, Steve just did something crazy, and that is he configured the new Yamaha YZR side by side, and he got it up to $41,000. $41,000. So there's a configurator video coming as well. So there's a lot. Here comes Andre.
Andre. We
Come
see
on,
you
come on
sneaking
over here.
back
Come on
there.
in here. Did you guys make it up Gold Mine Hill? And did the vehicles come back in one piece?
Did you
Here,
break
sit
anything?
down.
I won't tell you everything. Or do you want me to go full Monty here?
Can you put on
Yeah,
the Santa hat?
tell him, give him enough. Tell him what happened.
Well, wait, this head doesn't fit me.
That's okay. It didn't fit me either.
Guys, I'm very excited. We have a Ranger and a Tacoma.
Uh huh.
Tacoma is the sales leader. Ranger is the challenger.
Yes.
We went up Gold Mine Hill. It's icy.
Yeah.
Do you see my hair? It's about 45-mile-an-hour winds.
Was it that windy up there?
I was gonna fly the drone, to get beautiful pictures.
Yeah.
I couldn't even take off.
Wow.
The both trucks made it. There's no damage.
Good.
I'm happy to report. We did something we haven't done before.
Okay.
We've used crawl control on some of the most difficult sections.
Oh.
So you'll have to watch that video to find out exactly how that did.
Yeah.
But I'm excited.
Did you hit any side steps on the Ranger?
No, I was very nervous about this
Yeah.
because it has side steps.
Yep.
We didn't hit anything. Everything was okay. Weather was very challenging. Very.
You look like you just come out of a hurricane.
So-
Awesome.
So that's we're gonna do a lot more, right? Because I want to actually tow with both trucks.
Oh,
You
yeah.
gonna drag race them?
I want to drag race them. I want to tow. I want to do ramp testing.
Yeah.
Like if Roman lets me, I'm gonna do it all basically.
Gold winch testing, dude.
I just told him we're gonna do the Ike Gauntlet Raptor versus Rebel tomorrow. So. Now,
Really? Not the triple truck?
The triple truck we're gonna save till next weekend.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well-
I just let the cat out of the bag. Are you okay with that, or did I get myself in trouble?
No, I'm fine. They're both towing videos, so
Yeah.
it's like
Tell them what the triple truck test is.
the triple truck is the true video that you've all been waiting for. It's the Ford F-150 EcoBoost versus GM 6.2 liter V8, the big boy,
Yep.
versus the Hemi Ram. These are the three E-Torque. These are the three most popular half-ton trucks. Period.
The three Americans.
Three domestic trucks, and
Yep.
we tow with them on the Ike together in
Yep.
one video. So we'll do that next weekend,
Yeah.
and then tomorrow Rebel versus Raptor.
Heck yeah. Well, I think that should just about do it for today's live show. Sound
Yes.
good, boys?
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for sticking with us today. Merry Christmas to those of you who
Merry
celebrate
Christmas.
Christmas.
Yes.
Happy holidays to those of you who don't. We'll be back to our regular scheduled programming
Probably Wednesday.
Wednesday. Yeah,
Wednesday
we'll all be out of
yeah.
the office Monday and Tuesday. But live show Wednesday, potentially. We'll see. Thanks, you guys, for watching, and play us out with some Christmas music, huh?
All right, thanks a lot, guys, and more truck stuff coming. You can be sure.
Woo-hoo.